As Jason Statham walked down the cereal aisle at Freshmart, his keen eyes searched for a package of his preferred muesli. The fluorescent lights of the store were buzzing above as he made his way. The guy moved with the smooth precision of a man who has spent a lifetime in control, both on-screen and off-screen. The noise that arises when something or someone is being pushed. He was dressed in a fitting black Henley and dark trousers. After then, he became aware of it, prickly chuckled at his sarcastic. A stock clerk who was a skinny teenager was caught by three guys with big shoulders and leather jackets. They were located around the corner, close to the dairy area. Oops, it appears that you dropped something. He grabbed the carton and purposefully smashed it in his hand, causing the yolk to spill between his fingers. It's good to know that you'll have to clean things up. Once more, the child, who was no more than 19 years old, was holding a shattered carton of eggs as if it were a shield. The ringleader, a powerful individual with a strong neck and a spiderweb tattoo that was crawling up his neck, scowled at the pipsqueak and said. The other two laughed, and one of them flicked the toddler's nama tag, which said, Mike, with a finger that was greasy. Guess I'll have to teach you some manners. Moreover, what are you going to do about it? The man's ribs were cracked by Jason's elbow, which he slammed into his ribs after ducking and pivoting. Although the third individual made a significant error by pulling a switchblade. Jason was able to disarm him by applying a nasty wrist lack and then kneeing him in the belly. The bandit let out a wheezing sound and unexpectedly stumbled into a stack of soup cans, caused them to crash across the floor. Maybe if you weren't such a loser, you wouldn't be working here, huh? Disruptors in the community who believed that intimidating others was a sport. The muscles in Mike's jaw tightened, but he did not speak. They were familiar to him. Taking a mop from the shopping cart belonging to the children, he hurled it at the bullies. Now, tidy up the mess you made. And if I ever find myself once again in this room, we are unable to express our gratitude to you sufficiently. He did not respond to the threat, and instead cracked his knuckles. When it happened, a voice sliced through the tension like a knife. Oi. Yeah. I appreciate it, Mr. Statham. The thugs shifted their position, and then vanished into the night, leaving behind a grocery store that was filled with startled observers and three very humiliated thugs. They were low-level enforcers for Dmitry the Bear Volkov, a Russian gangster who laundered money via companies such as Freshmart. Is that Vince, Dmitry's nephew? He was known as "You lot done making a mess." With his arms crossed and his attitude placid, Jason Statham stood there with his eyes seeming as if they were piercing. Learn the location of his residence. We are going to pay him a visit. Smiling spiderweb tattoo exclaimed. Grandpa, what is it that you're doing? Maybe you're his father or something. Jason did not show any signs of blinking. No, not much more than a guy who despises bullies. It is a blocked number. And he responded. Shaky video captured on a smartphone during the meeting had already amassed millions of views by the time dawn arrived. The evolution of memes. His knuckles were cracked by the largest of the three, a slab of muscle with a shaved head at the top of his head. Are you sure? He let out a sigh. All that followed was a haze of confusion. The first swing, which was a crazy haymaker, was delivered by shaved head. Spiderweb tattoo made a lunge, but Jason grabbed his wrist, twisted, and turned him onto his back with a judo throw that left him gasping for air. You're the guy who sends toddlers to do a job that they should be doing? It took less than 5 seconds for all three of them to be moaning on the ground. After straightening his shirt, Jason shifted his attention to Mike, who was looking while his eyes were wide open. You all right, mate? Mike nodded, still reeling from the events that had just transpired. In the darkness, 12 armed men, who were Dmitry's most trusted allies, made their way toward his residence. Jason gave a smirk. Call me Jason. Although Jason was perched on a chandelier, he was able to eliminate them with pinpoint accuracy using a silenced handgun. The last thug was disarmed by Jason with a nasty wrist snap before he slammed his head against the marble counter. Jason fell in a roll and then dropped to the ground. Bowling pins fell to the ground like men. The bullies went into a frenzy to comply. Mr. Statham, shop manager stutteringly said as he ran over to follow Jason out of the store. It was Jason's shrug. Oh, just looking out for the little guy. I want you to tell your uncle that he may come by himself if he really wants me. On the other hand, he won't be pleased with the conclusion. Following this, the action legend got his muesli paid for it at the self-checkout, just like a viral combat video. The narrative of Jason Statham taking down 3 bullies in Freshmart circulated more quickly than the video itself. When you talk trash but hear oi behind you, he was disarmed with a heel kick that spun around. Jason Statham, part-time actor, full-time menace to bullies. Grocery list, milk, eggs, justice. They moaned. He's not human, they discovered him. On the other hand, while the internet was celebrating, the real drama was just getting started. It turned out that Spiderweb Tattoo, whose real name is Vince Kovac, and his group were not merely local punks. Rather, he now manages a YouTube channel that focuses on self-defense and is titled, How to Survive If Jason Statham Hates You. In a fit of rage, Dimitri came dangerously close to crushing his cigar as Vince hobbled into his uncle's subterranean poker room that night. His face was bruised and his ego was damaged. You let one man do this to you? Vince grimaced with discomfort. Uncle, it was Jason Statham. I don't care if it was the Queen of England. Dimitri let out a shout. No one humiliates my family. The sly smile that crept over his face was menacing. A change occurs in Jason's nighttime during this time. A buzzing sound came from Jason's phone, just as he had completed his exercise after going to the grocery shop. Mr. Statham, a voice that is smooth and accented. You made a mistake today. Jason did not show any signs of flinching. If you're calling to apologize for your boys, save your breath. A gloomy laugh was heard. Please apologize. No, I'm phoning to provide you with a choose option. Jason gave a smirk. I'll take a guess. There is no sound. You'll come to regret this, she said. Doubt it? I hung up on Jason. He was aware of what was about to happen. He was prepared for it. At 3 in the morning, 4 black SUVs drove into the area where Jason lives in Beverly Hills. Remember Vince said, breaking his legs first is the first step? Uncle wants him to be alive. The door was kicked in by them. Discovered that the home was vacant.
What the?
After then, the lights switched off.
From the depths of the night, a voice rumbled. Are you looking for me?
Gunfire broke out,
But it was not coming from Dimitri's guys. From up high.
Although Vince was in a state of fear, he continued shooting blindly until he was knocked through a glass coffee table by a flying kick. There is no sound. After that, Jason was able to seize Vince by the collar. No, Dimitri did show up. A few evenings later, he believed that he had trapped Jason at a warehouse on the dockside that had been abandoned. Although he was surrounded by 8 more armed men, Dimitri smirked at Statham and said, You are a difficult man to kill. A crack appeared in Jason's neck. It's funny. That is exactly what I was going to say about you. It was not a battle that ensued after that. It was a course of excellence. Armed men? Knives, perhaps? Redirected into the thighs of their owners instead. The most treasured brass knuckles of Dimitri. He had a habit of wearing out his own teeth. After being alerted by an anonymous caller, the cops came and discovered Dimitri bound to a support beam with a zip tie. In conclusion, a new legend has been born. All of the headlines went crazy. Jason Statham takes down crime syndicate because, why not? Real-life action hero. Statham's secret past revealed. Freshmart stock soars after Statham effect. Investors love vigilante justice. As the stock clerk, Mike received a job offer, and it was to work as Statham's personal assistant. Is that Vince? He changed his line of work? What about Jason, then? The last thing he did was go back to the grocery store. Bullies everywhere now scan the aisles twice before entering the store.